Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us this Friday. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Jay Cohn. In less than 24 hours, the country should know if it has a new Supreme Court justice.
After weeks of controversy and bitter hearings, the final vote for Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh is scheduled for Saturday afternoon.
Friday's drama peaked when previously undecided senators revealed their hands. CBS's Nicole Killian has the story now from Capitol Hill.
Suspense in the Senate ended when Susan Collins of Maine punctuated a 43-minute speech with these words.
I will vote to confirm Judge Kavanaugh.
Collins reviewed Brett Kavanaugh's judicial record and also poured over the FBI inquiry and testimony of Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, who accused Kavanaugh of sexual assault when both were teenagers. But at the end of the day, Collins said the certainty wasn't there.
The 4 witnesses she named could not corroborate any of the events.
Shortly afterward, lone Democrat Joe Manchin of West Virginia said he too will vote to confirm Kavanaugh. He struggled to be heard over protesters.
And very much concerned that we have to do something as a country. So I had to deal with the facts I had in front of me.
Republican Lisa Murkowski of Alaska broke with her party, explaining her no vote on the floor Friday night.
A judge should act at all times in a manner that promotes public confidence.
Murkowski said she will, however, ask to be recorded as present in the final tally so that her colleague, Montana Republican Steve Daines, a yes vote, can attend his daughter's wedding. The outcome of the vote would remain unchanged. The White House expressed cautious optimism earlier in the day.
I think that moving into the weekend, we certainly hope that the Senate will vote to confirm it.
By Friday afternoon, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders tweeted a thank you to Collins. If confirmed, Kavanaugh could be seated on the high court in the coming week. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Attorneys for Dr. Ford released a statement today saying that their client would have provided corroborating evidence had the FBI interviewed her.
Well, some Montana opponents of Judge Kavanaugh's appointment turned to trespassing to demonstrate their opinion today, even if it meant being cited by police.
MTN's Lauren Heiser tells us how anger fueled the occupation of GOP headquarters in Missoula.
Though it may seem peaceful here this evening, just hours ago there were some pretty tense moments.
Missoula police were called in just before 2 p.m. when office managers say they saw protesters on the roof attempting to hang banners from the side of the building. When police arrived on scene, the protesters were not on top of the building. Instead, 8 of the DSA members sat inside and refused to leave. Regional Field Director for the Republican Party in Missoula, Kelsey Cooley, was leading a business meeting when the protesters entered the building.
I have no problem with them assembling. That's the reason that we are strong constitutional conservatives and that we believe in the Constitution, is the right to your freedom of speech and the right to peacefully assemble. But this is not the case. They are in a private building. They interrupted my business operations for the day. I told them you're more than welcome to organize outside, protest outside. I have no issue with that. That's your right as a citizen, but not to do it inside of my office.
There was a peaceful discussion between the group and the police, and the group did eventually leave the building. All 8 that chose to go inside of the office were cited for criminal trespassing.
From Anita Hill to Blazing Ford, we won't take it anymore.
Missoula Rises issued a press release ahead of Friday's rally denouncing what they called the Republican Party's callous treatment of Dr. Christine Blasey Ford after she came forward with allegations of sexual assault by Kavanaugh. Western Montana DSA organizer Tootie Welker says they chose their location because it's about more than just this one issue.
So for us, it's not just Steve Daines, and while right now we're upset about Kavanaugh, it's just the whole lack of democratic processes that we're upset with.
In Missoula, Lauren Heiser, MTN News.
Thanks, Lauren. Now, after the protest, Montana Republican Party Chairman Deborah Lamb issued a statement. It says, quote, "The people of Montana stand behind Brett Kavanaugh, and we're going to confirm him to the Supreme Court."
The televised debate featuring Montana's U.S. Senate candidates that was canceled this weekend has been rescheduled now. The debate, to be aired on MTN stations and Yellowstone Public Radio statewide, will hit the airways 1 week from tomorrow. Saturday, October 13th, the debate starts at 6 p.m. Now, the debate will feature incumbent Democrat John Tester, Republican challenger Matt Rosendale, and Libertarian Rick Breckenridge. The debate was originally set to air this weekend, but had to be rescheduled due to the U.S. Senate's vote tomorrow on the nomination of Brett Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court. During that one-hour debate next Saturday night, the candidates will field questions from a panel of journalists from MTN and Yellowstone Public Radio.
On the weather front, it's not just some weekend snow we have to think about, Bob. Next week has some fun stuff in store, too.
Yeah, we thought we'd go ahead and take a look at what's going to happen, kind of like the extended version of our forecast. And let me show you what we have. Starts off this weekend with this big upper-level trough over all of the west. We're going to be probably into the 30s in the northern part of the state, and in the southern part of the country, we're looking at 90s in the southeast. There in the ridge of high pressure there. But look at this. This big upper-level low continues to drop down in toward the Four Corner states. It's going to create a giant snowstorm, basically from Colorado all the way up in towards the Dakotas. It's going to probably tag much of eastern Montana. And here goes. Here's your first storm. It comes in out of the Pacific Northwest, heads down to the south. The second one follows that. Then that first one continues to go up into the plains. And here comes number two. And they both arrive in Montana right about the same time at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. So look for a lot of snow across much of the Treasure State. So we'll see how much we get that coming your way in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Bob. Well, it's a sign of the times and the official end of summer. The Beartooth Pass now closed for the season. Now, we're no strangers to winter weather wreaking havoc on our Montana roads. And as always, winter comes just a little earlier at 11,000 feet. Q2 meteorologist Connor Pregetzer was south of Red Lodge today as the gates were shut for winter.
Well, we are here at the entrance to the Beartooth Pass Highway as they are in the process of closing these gates right here as we speak on October 5th. It's a little early this year, but some bad weather in the forecast. We can already see the white stuff starting to pile up here and some more expected in the not too distant future. Led the Montana Department of Transportation to shut it down just a little bit earlier here this year. So if you didn't have a chance this summer to get out and drive the scenic highway, you're going to have to wait till next Memorial Day when it's scheduled to open again. That's May 24th, 2019. That's all for us here. We're going to send it back to the studio.
Thanks, Connor. As Connor tells us, just as it is with the closing, the opening date on Memorial Day weekend is also weather dependent.
Now an update on a story we told you about last night regarding the financial health of Westmoreland Coal. That financially ailing coal firm once again has filed notice with the Securities and Exchange Commission that its lenders have agreed to give the company another extension on its loan payment. Thursday's filing with the SEC gives Westmoreland until this coming Monday to work out a new restructuring agreement with first lien holders and note holders. It's the latest in a series of extensions Westmoreland has received so far this year as it tries to restructure its debt. Now, in addition to the Rosebud mine near Coalstrip, Westmoreland is also a partner in the Absalica mine near Hardin and also owns the Savage mine located along the Montana-North Dakota border. In 2016, Westmoreland was listed as the 8th largest U.S. coal producer. At the close of business today, Westmoreland stock selling for just 12 cents a share on the NASDAQ exchange.
U.S. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke says he will make a major long-term environmental announcement in Paradise Valley on Monday. Now, while Zinke's spokeswoman declined to give us details, the Washington Post reports there is local speculation about the action. The Yellowstone Gateway Coalition says it expects the secretary to sign off on a 20-year moratorium on mineral withdrawal in Paradise Valley and the Gardner Basin adjacent to Yellowstone National Park. Now, if that is the action Zinke takes Monday, it would extend a 2-year ban on mining 30,000 acres of national forest and Interior Department land. Now, that ban, imposed by former Interior Secretary Sally Jewell, is due to expire next month.
Riding a bus in Billings is now easier and more efficient, all thanks to a new tracking system that shows you the precise location of the buses.
The AVL, the automatic vehicle locator, indicates where the buses are on the Met Transit route. The AVL is available on smartphones, tablets, and computers.
Now, the app tracks the buses using GPS and even gives an estimated time of arrival at your location.
It's going to be great because winter's on its way, and if you happen to hit a bad day and you don't want to stand at the bus stop, you can kind of wait inside till the last minute, see that your bus is almost here, and run out and meet the bus. You can see every bus in the city moving on the city grid. It's just a great little tool to have. We think it'll be something that'll allow people to go, you know what, I'm going to ride the Met now because I know when it's going to be here.
And Kevin Plone says it's also easier to collect passenger data for federal reports.
And you can find out more information about it right now. Instruction and links to download the app. It's all on the City of Billings Met Transit website.
Up next on your Q2 10 p.m. news, the students are knocking down boundaries and learning to roll with life hands them. Check out how next.
And in sports tonight, Scott has homecoming in Laurel, Big Timber trying to stay perfect, and West chasing a share of the league lead.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.